That's always Trump's strategy, to close ranks around a certain kind of racial tribalism, to close ranks around whiteness. When you say make America great again, that's a dog whistle to white folk.
Welcome to this week's Wacky Moments of Liberal Expression. We are just a few weeks away from the midterm, so the liberal media has to take things up a notch and really start pushing the notion that white supremacists are taking over the Republican Party.
With the midterm elections just 20 days away, this morning a rare look inside a fringe group hoping to capitalize on deep divisions within our country.
NBC national correspondent Peter Alexander investigates how some white nationalists claim they are quietly gaining momentum.
Watchdogs say groups like this often disguise white supremacist views. Among Identity Europa's goals, Casey told us, covertly taking over the GOP.
These are such disturbing allegations.
Disturbing allegations indeed, but these allegations of racism are being promoted all across liberal media right now.
One of the side effects of the nightmare of the Trump presidency is that Fox News has given itself increasingly to white nationalist propaganda. That language of being replaced comes straight out of the marchers in Charlottesville last year.
Now, according to the GOP, these women are part of the liberal mob. Now, they're not as endearing as, let's say, the Proud Boys or the Confederacy kin that Republicans like to cotton to.
Yes, Chris Cuomo's magic wall. It actually changes history and links the Republicans, instead of Democrats, as being cotton to the Confederacy. But it wouldn't be a week in the world of cable news without the predictable Nazi lockstep reference.
And at a time when Quislings meekly march in lockstep behind a morally disabled president, I don't know how you do it. It's appalling.
All right, so according to the liberal media, you are now an appalling traitor if you support the president. But it's okay to be an appalling deceiver and push your liberal agenda and divide on the issue of race, like in this fantastically inaccurate CNN segment.
President Trump and his son Don Jr. said this week white men have a lot to fear right now.
They did? They said that? Or did you just actually add the word white because you're a divisive tool?
President Trump and his son Don Jr. said this week white men have a lot to fear right now. Here's comedian Michael Che's take.
I heard the president say on TV that, quote, "It's a very scary time for young men in America."
So let the record show that SNL is more accurate at quoting the president saying young men than CNN is. Somehow young men has become white men. So now that they've shown the full screen, they'll correct themselves, right?
That's always Trump's strategy, to close ranks around a certain kind of racial tribalism, to close ranks around whiteness. When you say make America great again, that's a dog whistle to white folk. That's not to black people. He's always doing that. And so, you know, the whole they're stealing our country narrative plays into his immigration policy, and it stokes white fear, saying that it's a scary time to be a white man because you get accused of something that you didn't do. For that to come out of Donald Trump's mouth.
Except it didn't come from Trump's mouth. But, you know, enjoy your little fantasy news segment there. Spend time with that. Maybe they're near Chris Cuomo's magic wall, which somehow removes accuracy and changes history. Because it's easy to play the race card when you're reporting on things people actually never said. It's a lot more difficult when you're trying to defend a liberal that was once touted as Harvard Law's first Native American professor. Especially after she announces she has had a DNA test that proves she's less Native American than you could have guessed. But does the liberal media blame her for playing the race card to benefit her career? No. You know, that is the fault of white people.
Remember, a lot of black and brown people in this country do not have the data to prove where they come from. Partly that's because of slave records that weren't dated, but secondly because of miscegenation law. So the concept of quantifying culture, that is a white and majority concept.
Wait, no, that's not enough. The liberal media wants to protect Warren so bad, they blame the Cherokee Nation.
Cherokee Nation. Mm-hmm. Secretary of State Cherokee Nation said in a statement, DNA testing cannot prove that Warren is Cherokee or any other tribe. And there's Chuck Hoskin, Jr., Secretary of State. Do we think that the decision itself was a mistake? Do we think that the timing was a mistake?
In terms of the Cherokee Nation statement, I found that to be ridiculous. I am also part Cherokee, but I have not taken a DNA test. I'm not trying to join a tribe or claim membership in a tribe. The decision to do a DNA test to be able to, quote, prove that she is part Cherokee may not have been the best method. Yeah. I also think that the Cherokee Nation response was problematic because it actually ignores the fact that DNA testing historically has been used to exclude black natives from tribal affiliation.
Yes, the Cherokee Nation is now a racist. It's nothing to do with Elizabeth Warren playing the minority card. Hearing liberals address the Cherokee Nation is problematic.
That the Cherokee Nation response was problematic.
Is Democratic history repeating itself? Good old Democrat Andrew Jackson? Well, he didn't like the sovereignty of the Cherokees making their own decisions either.
Was problematic.
That's another historical fact that would likely be erased at Cuomo's magic wall. But what cannot be erased is if the liberal media didn't make up this racial crap, they would have to focus on real issues and the strength of the Democratic Party's message. And even they know that's a little tough.
As we were asked a question on Colbert, what's the Democrats' message?
Yeah,
Who is the one Democrat who's inspired you, that's put the message together? And I will say, for once in our lives, we sat there stunned. We had nothing to say.
And not even Cuomo's magic wall can fix that.
It's not impossible that despite the train wreck that is the Trump presidency, Republicans could keep control, listen carefully, of the Senate and the House.
Like facts near Cuomo's magic wall, it's time for us to disappear. I'm Eric Scheiner from RCTV. I'll see you again with more media wackiness next week.